Hey friends, there can be miracles when you believe. That is one of my favorite songs. And it's set in the time of Moses, one of my favorite Bible stories, one of my favorite biblical characters. And Moses had such an amazing life. All through his life, he trusted in God. And God did many, many miracles through him and right before his eyes, as well as the children of Israel. It's such an amazing story that spans from the book of Exodus all the way through Deuteronomy. And all the way through Moses' life, he had been sheltered in place by God and protected and blessed. I mean, think about it. When he was born, he was sheltered in place by his parents, hidden away for 3 months. After that, he was sheltered in place in a basket and set in the reeds, watched over by his sister and found by Pharaoh's daughter, and then sheltered in place in Pharaoh's palace, and then sheltered in place, while all of his fellow countrymen were in bondage and heavy labor. Well, he found that he didn't want to remain sheltered in place in Pharaoh's palace. And unfortunately, he took matters into his own hands, and that created a larger problem in his life. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the story, to where he fled, and yet again, he was sheltered in place in the land of Midian. This time with a new job, a wife, children, a family. For 40 years, he was sheltered in place until God appeared to him and spoke to him through the burning bush, giving him an opportunity to return home and help save and deliver his people. During that time of the Exodus, God sheltered his people in place in the wilderness with the pillar of cloud to keep them cool and shaded by day, and the pillar of fire to keep them warm and protected by night. And then finally, towards the end of Moses' life, he was sheltered in place one more time on Mount Nebo. After seeing a view of the promised land, things to come, Moses died, and God buried him in secret. But he was not sheltered in place for too long, because the Lord raised him again. And we find him reaching out to Jesus. When Jesus was sheltered in place in prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane, we find Moses reappearing at the Mount of Transfiguration. My friends, Moses lived an amazing life, an amazing story, and he had an amazing message to the people of God, to know that God would always have his people sheltered in place in his care. So they didn't have to be worried or afraid, and he would be with them no matter where they were to go. In fact, before the people of Israel, the children of Israel, would go into the promised land, and before Moses went on top of Mount Nebo to see that view before he went to sleep, we find Moses charging the people of Israel and also their new leader Joshua with these words found in Deuteronomy 31, verse 6, one of my favorite passages. It says, "Be strong and of good courage. Do not fear nor be afraid of them. For the Lord your God, he is the one who goes with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you." My friends, doesn't that remind you of our deliverer Jesus, the one who gathers all his children to him, as he said on the mount before he ascended into heaven after giving the Great Commission to his disciples to go out and make more disciples, make more followers, make more friends. He says, "I will be with you even until the end of the age." My friends, do not be afraid. For the Lord your God, he is still with you. Where 2 or more are gathered in his name, there he is in the midst of them. His Holy Spirit is there. He's knocking at your heart, and he's inviting you to be with him. And one day, we'll be able to go to the promised land, heavenward, and to that heavenly country with Jesus. Let's look forward to that time. So be encouraged, and let's look forward to the miracles that God will make happen in our lives because we believe.